Guess what? We got another one out there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hannah Dugan. The FBI arrested Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on charges of obstruction after evidence that the judge, she's a judge, decided to obstruct an immigration arrest operation last week. What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, like, thank goodness Donald Trump is in there. Thank goodness this stuff is going to escalate. But I'll tell you, what are we doing with all these crooks? Bunch of crooks, if you ask me. I mean, you're supposed to be upholding the law, and you're clearly not. We believe, this is according to Kash Patel, FBI Director Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject. They came in to arrest him in her courthouse. They said Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on the foot, and he's now in custody. But the judge's obstruction created increased danger, to the public. We will have more to share soon. Excellent work to the FBI in Milwaukee. Here's the lady. I mean, wow. So she apparently decided to get up when she heard something like, wait, they were going to go after him. And she said, come with me. And despite having been advised of the administrative warrant for the arrest of Flores Ruiz, Judge Dugan then escorted him and his counsel out of the courtroom through the jury door, which then leads to a non-public area of the courthouse. These events were obviously unusual, shall we say. I mean, apparently this is something that's only used for jury use. So she's like sneaking him out the back door. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Here she is getting arrested earlier today.
Judge, anything to say about this?
Off she goes. Here's Pam Bondi writing, I can confirm that our FBI agents just arrested Hannah Dugan, a county judge in Milwaukee, for allegedly helping an illegal alien avoid an arrest by ICE. No one is above the law. Well, Here is nonetheless the mayor of Milwaukee trying to side with the judge on this one. I mean, this is really gross. I'm going to show it to you, and it just shows you how insanely political everyone is. They've been overcome with TDS. Suddenly, it's okay for a judge to escort, allegedly, an illegal out of her courtroom because she feels so passionately against Trump. I don't know. But here, the Democrat mayor is saying it all. That's all you need to know. They've gone cuckoo. Watch.
Defendant is ordered. There'll be a court appearance. That didn't happen in this case. I think what happened here was just showboating. They're just trying to have this show of force, and in the process of doing this in a courthouse where people need to go for court proceedings, they're scaring people away from participating in the process. So if they are witness to a crime or something of the sort, they're not going to go and participate, and that makes our community less safe.
So the issue is with how the arrest happened, not necessarily that there was an investigation.
Again, I don't know all the things that...
I just want to point out that the reporters are trying to say, do you really think this is right, what she's doing? And you see how he pivots? He tries to say, oh, we need to make sure that everybody's just legal in our community. And that way it'll all be good. And that way everybody will be safer. He doesn't actually want to answer the question. So they keep going back at him. Here we go.
Happened there, but I'm saying that the way that they went about this in this ham-handed, haphazard way that this administration has been doing since day one, it's driving people away, or has potential to drive people away from participating in court proceedings, which makes our community less safe. I want people to go to court. I want people to have their day in court. I want people to hold folks accountable in our judicial system, but the actions of this administration are driving people away from doing that, and that's not good for public safety in Milwaukee.
Do you believe this man should be deported?
Overall. I'm sorry?
Do you believe this man should be deported?
I don't know any information about the man. I'm talking specifically about the Trump administration's actions as it relates to this case and what they've been doing with immigration overall since he's been president again. Like, they're scaring people. They're scaring people in this community. They're scaring people in immigrant communities all across the United States. And when folks don't participate in our judicial system, bad things happen. Our community becomes less safe. And that's the message that I'm trying to get across.
Do you believe this sets a dangerous precedent moving forward to future judges that could be arrested for similar actions?
Quite possibly so, but I hope that the answer is no. I mean, if a judge is being arrested in a courthouse, just imagine the chilling effect that it sends to other folks who would otherwise participate in judicial proceedings in our courthouse, and not just in the Milwaukee County courthouse, but courthouses across the state of Wisconsin and courthouses across the United States.
Okay, so he's using this as his big opportunity, right? Suddenly he's on Fox News. He's getting to come on the Trish Regan podcast because we're running a bite of his news conference there, and all he wants to do is bash Trump. They can't see the forest for the trees. They can't seem to understand that there was a reason this guy was being arrested. There was a reason this was happening. And there's a reason why Pam Bondi says this judge, if found guilty, needs to be behind bars.
You see these judges trying to obstruct your efforts to make this country safer. What is your message to them?
We are going to prosecute you, and we are prosecuting you. I found out about this the day it happened. We could not believe, actually, that a judge really did that. We looked into the facts in great depth. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case, and really, shame on her. It was a domestic violence case of all cases, and she's protecting a criminal defendant over victims of crime.
In fact, she just had an initial appearance in court.
Unbelievable, you guys. I mean, I'm with Pam. Like, you can't make it up. She's like, we had to double check it, triple check it. We wanted to make sure because this almost didn't make sense, right? How could you have this much chaos? To the point where a judge is going to protect someone here illegally in a domestic violence case, escorting him out the back door, allegedly? You gotta be kidding me. But the courts are trying to basically just stand in the way of everything that Donald Trump is trying to do. Right? That's their MO. We'll just block him and block him and block him and make it so that he can't get anything done. We had another one. Judge bars Trump from denying federal funds to sanctuary cities that limit immigration cooperation. It had already been decided, by the way, that he was allowed to do this. And now you have another judge blocking it. So we're getting bogged down in all this judge CRAP. You know it. And it doesn't like make any sense. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for the country. America elected him. So why is this all happening?
Well, first of all, the president has said he will follow the Supreme Court's decisions. He's always said that about all of these cases. They may have some differences of opinion about the rendering of certain decisions and how to handle and implement certain decisions, but the president has always said he's going to follow the decisions. Now, I do think that these individual district court judges that are being selectively shopped by people who oppose the president, trying to issue nationwide injunctions and stop the president from governing, I think that's a real problem. I mean, it's a constitutional crisis, in my opinion, for these individual district court judges to try to tie up Donald Trump. I mean, it's obvious what they're trying to do, which is to run out the clock until he's no longer in office. It's sort of what the Democrats did the first time around. They don't want him to be able to govern. Now, the Supreme Court, as you pointed out in the polling, people have a lot of respect for it, and so does President Trump. So I really do think that if he's allowed to govern, if he's allowed to do the things that he ran on, if he's allowed to continue to deport illegal aliens, if he's allowed to continue to do the things he told the American people he was going to do, he'll be fine. But the truth is he's running into a wall of resistance in some of these individual federal district court judges. And I think the Congress honestly needs to step in, or the Supreme Court needs to step in, because it's not right what they're doing to this presidency.
He's right. It's not right. It's absolutely wrong. Gary Hammers, thank you so much for the generosity. Greetings to you over on the other side of the pond there in London. It's bonkers. I mean, they are just standing in the way of everything right now. Why? Because it's Donald Trump. Oh, because it's Trump. And you know what, guys? They warned us. They warned us that they would do this. And when you consider, when I say do this, Scott said it well just this week. Judges carefully shopped by Democrats have ruled Trump may not deport illegal alien gang members, require voters to prove that they're citizens. Gosh darn it. Why would you have to do that? Defund sanctuary cities that violate federal law. Oh, that one's going to get turned down badly by the Supreme Court. I'm just going to tell you, because if there's one thing the Constitution allows for the federal government to do, it is to control the borders. The plan is obvious, he writes, run the clock out on the Trump presidency. I will say this, you know what? He's not wrong, and the Democrats deliberately did this. And Chuck Schumer admitted it about a month ago. on one of the network television shows. I'm going to show you. He admitted that they put 235 judges in there to do exactly this.
There are those who believe that we are in real time living through an assault on the constitutional order. Do you believe that we are in a constitutional crisis right now?
Yes, our democracy is at risk because Donald Trump shows that he wishes to violate the laws in many, many different ways. The good news here is we did put 235 judges, progressive judges, judges not under the control of Trump last year on the bench, and they are ruling against Trump time after time after time. And we hope that the appellate courts, when it gets up there in the Supreme Court, will uphold those rulings. They restored the money to NIH. They required that 8,000 federal employees have to come back. We're in over 100 lawsuits against them, and we are having a good deal of success. It's only at the lower court level right now.
You said the quiet part out loud, so there you go. I don't even need to make the case. I mean, people might say, oh, you're being conspiratorial. You know, they installed a bunch of judges to try and get in the way of Trump. Well, Schumer just said it, okay? This is their plan. This is what they're trying to do. And so now this gets escalated. It will have to be escalated. The Supreme Court will have to take this on. And, you know, I know that they the other day said that they had to stop. It was a temporary order to stop those illegals that were alleged to be gang members from being shipped back to Venezuela. I still just keep saying this over and over again. Like, the fact that you're here illegally, if they can prove that you are not a citizen in the United States, do we not have the right to send you packing? I mean, what kind of world is this if the federal government can't actually control its borders? And I go back to basic stuff, that this is the one federal power they really do have.